All right. Hello, everybody. So this is a surprise live. So I don't know if anybody's going to join us while I do this, but I needed to make more of these. This is a jade beaded and sequin Christmas ornament with these little flowers because they've been selling out like crazy. So I figured since I had to make them anyway, it's been a while since I've gone live on the channel. I thought I might as well do it. And if anybody pops in, great. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Bill Mason, and I am the owner of Holidays Lane, where we make beaded and sequin ornaments for every holiday throughout the year. All the ornaments are handmade by me. And like I said, this one here is part of a series that has been super popular. I have them in a bunch of different colors, but color's a little off for the YouTube video, but this is actually an iridescent or a metallic jade color. So it's like a, mostly green, but green blue kind of color. So we're going to get started and make some more of these here. Okay, so I have most of my supplies set up here. My ornaments are primarily a 2-inch size ornament. So here we go. And I have 8mm sequins. These are slightly cupped in jade. I will just pour a bunch out to make it easier as I go. Okay, we'll set that one aside. I have here my 3/4-inch brass plated steel sequin pins. I have my 10-0 gold beads. I use a bottle cap, you'll see in a little bit, to save my thumb, so to speak. And then I do have all the other supplies for the flowers that'll be later on. So I have a larger size sequin pin. I have a creamy ivory kind of iridescent sequin flower that's like a daisy print. I have our imported check glass beads, and then some of these mini iridescent red colored flowers that will go on the inside, and then I have my topper. So I always start off my ornaments here with one in the center. Now the balls that I get, they usually will have a mark about halfway through. Then they'll have a mark in the middle, and then the ones that I use are sometimes you can see this is pumped up a little bit. I want to get rid of that. Actually, I'll just do it with a pair of scissors, but that's where the injection mold is for them. So I'm just gonna flatten this one out. I mean, it would be covered. It's going to be covered by the sequins anyway, but still, I prefer it to be a bit flatter. There we go. And I'm sure people are going to yell at me in comments about how I'm doing the scissors. Okay, so we're going to start with our center one. Now, these are really tiny beads here that get put on the sequins. They're a little bit wider than the head of the pin that I have. And just in case the sequin holes are too big, they will kind of hold the sequin in. Now, for the first one that I do, I have a like ridiculously large one. And I do that because I'm going to pull that one out in just a little bit because that's where the hanger is eventually going to go. And then we're just going to start putting, bead on the sequin pin and then thread on the actual sequin. And I'm going to put the first one up, and there you go. So now we just have to cover the entire ball with the sequins. Okay. I usually do have a big bowl of these filled so that it's easy just to kind of go in there and scoop them in. So let's see what's up with the color on this. I don't know why it's a little off. Makes me sad. All right. Now the foam bowl that I use is fairly firm, so that's one of the reasons why I'll just get the pin in slightly, and then the bottle cap, that's what I use to actually get it in there. All right, and one last one for the first row. There we go. All right, now that the first row is in, I'm going to pull out my starter pin. I'm going to set that aside for the next one. And then we just start wrapping from there. And this is not anything that is difficult. It's pretty easy and straightforward. It is just a lot of repetition and a lot of time. So on average, one of these here takes about an hour and a half. So it really is just a matter of time and patience. Now for me, I'm very particular about having straight rows, I guess you could call them, on all my ornaments. So once it's in and you're looking at it, it sort of becomes apparent that they're pretty straight. I know some people sort of just haphazardly cover the balls in sort of, wherever they can. I don't know, maybe it's a little OCD or something, but not how I make them. Let's see if I could change the. I don't think that's going to help. I'll bring that light down a bit. See if that's any better. Okay. And a lot of times what I like to do is have music on in the background. I'll have a TV show that I want to listen to, not necessarily watch, playing too. Can't do that because of copyright on the channel. Makes sense. So it's going to be a bit quiet here for a while. And then once the video is done, I'll keep it up on the channel. So if you're watching this late and it's something that you guys are interested in seeing more of, feel free to post in the comments, and I will try to make some more of these. Might do some edited videos later on. This one's a little bit bent, so it goes in my trash bin there. It was Rachel Ray who, when she's cooking, she always has the trash bowl for scraps and things like that. For me, I just have an old box from pins that I just keep off to the side and then empty that when it starts distracting me. Okay. Oops. All right. Okay, actually, this is now too dark for me. Let's bring this up a bit more. There we go. I can see better now. All right. This one's going to be going real time the whole way through. So if you're watching this later, you could, periodically skip through. If anybody pops on and has questions, be happy to answer them. When I'm doing these ornaments, where it is so heavily based on the colors, I try to find some of the prettiest sequin colors that I can out there. And this jade color is very vibrant, and I really like it. So I've done these in black, reds, whites. I have a really nice iridescent blue one too. Ironically, an iridescent brown one that I wasn't sure about at first, but after it was done, it was super pretty. Got a bead in there. It's okay, use that one next. All right. So there we go. And like I said, it's time consuming, but eventually we get there. Just keep wrapping the sequins around. And if anybody joins and has any questions about ornament making, be happy to answer them. Right now, we're just covering this in sequins. Eventually, it is going to look like this right here. But first part we start with just covering the ball. And then one of the things about sequin pins, they are brass plated. So right now they are super, super, super bright gold color. Over time, they are going to darken and sort of fade into the background a little bit, leaving the color of the sequins that were chosen to really be the star of it. Right when these first come up, you can really see the pins. Okay, quarter of the way done. One of the other reasons that I like using these foam balls, where I showed you guys the center line, it's a sort of like a milepost. Once you know you hit that and you've covered the line, you know you're halfway through the ornament. So I get always excited when I first start off, and then a little bored halfway through, and then once I hit that middle line, then it sort of seems to go faster, and then also changes the weight of the ornament in my hand, and I can start feeling a difference for it. There we go. I am very thankful for the bottle cap because with the amount that I make every holiday season, I probably wouldn't be able to feel my thumb probably by early November. One of the reasons I'm trying to get more of these made, I do have my website. If this is an ornament that you would like to add to your collection, head on over to my website. Links are in the description of the video here. But I'm coming up on a big craft fair. I'm recording this on November 17th. I think my next big one is going to be the weekend after Thanksgiving down at Linville Orchard. So I want to make sure to have plenty of ornaments available for people to choose from, in addition to what's on the website. So I have to cover both bases there. And I was really surprised a little bit about how popular these ornaments were. So I didn't quite make as many. When you're not sure, you test it out, see how it goes, and if it becomes super popular, then you just make a bunch more. And if it's not popular, then eventually somebody will like it. Okay. All right, 2 more for the row. And of course, the closer you get to the middle, the more sequins it takes to finish it. All right. Probably 2 more rows to the middle. Oops. Yep, 2 more. Oops, and made a bit of a mistake. Usually I catch this. Put 2 glass beads on one. So we'll just take that off. And reposition that. All right, save that. One more here. Oops, dropped one. Okay, don't want to step on that later. Overlapping each of the sequins just a little bit, not too much, just a little. Unless I have to squeeze them in to get around. But my goal is to not show any of the white ball underneath the sequin. keep on going. Okay. And if you're making one too and following along, if I'm going a little bit faster, that's fine. Take your time. There's no rush to it. You can always pause the video and we can catch up. Okay. This is kind of the point where you start getting a sense of what the whole ball is going to look like if it's a new color to you. And if you're doing this yourself, just have our 8mm slightly cupped sequins, which I think is a good size for the 2-inch ornaments. If you go bigger, if you have a 3-inch foam ball, then you can do a 10mm sequin. I guess you could do a 10mm on these as well. It'd be a lot less time consuming. I just think the 8mm looks about right for the size. Okay. Now, our goal is to hide as much white as possible on that one. Might be a little peek and throw on this one. All right. Okay. Now we're at the middle. Cover this one up. These ones I usually do a little bit closer together than the rest. Just to get that nice solid middle line. The rest are a little more scalloped. Getting closer. So if this is a video that you are crafting along as well, so we're doing it together, let me know what you're making in the comments. Still not really showing the true color. Oh. And we're pretty much, yep, not quite at a half hour, and we're halfway through. So that's about right for how long it takes me to do one of these. See, just a little bit further to close that line. And then after this is finished, we'll just keep going, finish the bottom half. Need two more there. Last one. Okay. And that's the first half finished. Time to finish the bottom. See, start there. When you put your last one on, you usually overlap the last sequin. So I like to twist it around to the other side so that way they're not all overlapped together at the same spot. Oops. Little broken one there. We'll just toss that aside. And we just keep going around, overlapping ever so slightly from the last one. I know when we get to the bottom, it's going to be a little tricky, but we might be able to cover it up with one of the sequin flowers. That'll be the fun part, is once we have the base covered, is going through and picking out where to put our sequin flowers on. Once you're at this part, you'll start feeling a little bit of a difference in the weight of the ornament. Definitely love the tactile nature of this craft because it's really good to feel the change, feel the weight. Oops, don't like that one. Sometimes the little beads are a little too small, so I just throw them out. I don't think I noticed this before, but YouTube has a little timer saying how long I've been live for. So there's a little bit of pressure to see how long it's going to take me to finish covering the ball with the base sequin. Okay. I will admit sometimes I get a little impatient when I get to this part, and I'll put the topper on, and sometimes I'll even put the first row of flowers, but I'm going to do it the right way this time and get all the sequins on. Otherwise, don't want to show you out of order here. Now with each ring, it will be faster and faster to get that covered. And we're about 40 minutes in, right on schedule. This is when it starts getting exciting because you're getting close to being finished with the base coat. You can see just a little bit more whites left. Now, some people have asked when at craft fairs and things like that if I use a thimble, and I really can't, because if I was wearing a thimble, I wouldn't be able to easily pick up the sequin pins or scoop the beads on. So that's why I use the bottle cap. A little bit of a compromise. I guess you could use the thimble instead of the bottle cap, but I wouldn't be wearing it. Plus, as a guy, I don't know, do they sell large size ones? Chubby little fingers. All right, there we go. That row is done. Or finished, I should say. Turn it again. A few more rows to go. So we're probably looking at about another 4 more rows until the ball is completely covered. so we're looking at probably another 4 more rows or so until we get that fully covered. We're getting really close. And once that is fully covered, then we can start making the sequin flowers, which I like to prep them several in a row before actually covering the bauble. Okay. Almost done on this row. And then we get to the fun part. Right. So close. Just do a quick little wipe here. Yeah, that didn't really help the color either. Okay. All right. If you like watching these kinds of videos, I do have 2 Easter egg videos where I've covered eggs and sequins. They're also on the channel in the live section. So if you like this one when it's over, head on over and check those out. Okay. So we're at about 50 minutes, which is little faster than usual for me. Guess having a clock running speeds you up a little bit. All right. And just a couple more to close that out. Yeah, that's going to be this one's going to be a little bit tricky. That's okay. Now, if you get any of the DIY ornament kits that I have, it's a different kind of foam ball that I send. The ones that I have are a fully covered. There isn't this little opening in them because I just want it to be as easy as possible, especially for newbies that are getting into ornament making, to be able to have their ornament pretty simply. Okay. And the amount of white's disappearing, which is good. Two more here. One more for this row. Okay. There we go. So, let's see. Could probably close this one off with. I'm going to do one, and I'm going to leave this a little bit open for a reason. So you can still see there's a little bit of a gap there. I think, yeah, you can see there's the white. I'm going to use that to put the final flower in the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to clean up my workstation now. So we're going to get the sequins out of the way. Put these back in their container. All right. Where's my lid? Okay, can't find my lid. All right, well, we'll just set this aside then. Okay, so now the fun part. Let's get the topper on. So I'm gonna need one bead. So I have these old-fashioned, these are the kind of caps that would be on the old-fashioned glass beads that you can probably get. These are actually metal. I know a lot of the ones that are available now are plastic, but these are real metal. So I have my special hanger that I use. I'm going to put on one of the check glass beads on here. This is going to be replicated. They'll be in the center of all the flowers. So I like the little touch that's on there. And we'll put this through. So I'm going to put this in for just a little bit. Turn it on its side. Now for all my toppers, I will use super glue to make sure that they're really on there. So we're just going to put a couple drops on there. Okay. Put a little, close this off. So make sure that the bead cap is centered here on the first row, covering the tips of the sequin pins. And then we're going to just bring this down in. That's all there is for that one. So it doesn't take long for that to dry because it is it's super glue. All right, so what we're going to do now, for the rest, I'm just going to use Elmer's glue, white glue. Okay, so we're going to build the flowers. So I'm going to just set this aside for a second here. So these are these 2-inch? Yeah, I think these are 2-inch pins. So the number of flowers that I put on these are 4 rows of 4, and then I have one that I put in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Do 4 more. 2, 3, 4. Rolling all over. Okay, and then my bottom one. Okay. And again, these are brass plated steel pins. Okay, so the flower orders here are going to be we're going to do one of the check glass beads for the center. We're going to do one of the out of order. All right, one of the little iridescent red mini flowers, and then the creamy daisy on top. So that's what they will look like when they are on the actual bauble. So like I said, I'd like to make these ahead of time. So I'll do 4. I'll make them, put them on the bauble, and then kind of go from there. So we just keep repeating. We have one of our check glass beads. We're going to have one for mini flowers, and then one of our daisies. Repeat again. Check glass bead, mini flower, and then our daisy. And then last one for this row. Check glass bead, mini flower, and our daisy. Okay, so this is our first row that we're going to have on the bauble. So I'm going to look for where I want to put the first one in. I'm going to see if there's any gaps anywhere, or if there's a sort of easy place to put it in. All right. So we'll just get our first one here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to push it in just a smidge, just a little bit, all right? So it's not going to fall out, but it's not all the way in because I'm going to glue this in a second. But I want one on the exact opposite side of where that one is. So we're going to go right in there. Okay, so we have our 2 endpoints. I'm going to turn it over, and then I want one exactly in the middle, or as close to the middle as I could get for them. And then we'll flip it over, and same thing. We want it smack in the middle between those two, or as close as you can, so that we have them jetted out like this. So it's going to turn this on its side, and I just put the glue right on the pin, and I probably over glue them, but that's okay. So I'll just pour a bunch out along the pin, let that kind of slide on down, and then I'll use my bottle cap again, flip to the next one. We will add our white glue. Let that slide down. And part of the reason I let it slide down is it's going to leave some glue on the pin itself, and that will help keep the mini flower and bead in place too. So we're going to go to the last one here. or next, sorry, third one, and just going to pour that glue right on. Let it slide back down, and then get that flower in place. And then our last one. Line the glue up. Let it slide down. And then we'll get that one in. Okay, so that's where we have our four sides there. So I'm going to make the next row of our flowers. So we're going to take one bead, one red mini flower, and one daisy. Okay. Next one bead, one mini flower, and one daisy. I'm going to make two more for the next row. One bead, one red flower, one mini flower, and the daisy. Okay. Last one for the row. One bead, one red mini flower, and one daisy. All right, so for this row, I'm going to be looking for space in the middle of each of those. So we're going to, again, same thing, we're going to bring that in just a little bit. Sometimes this one's going to be a little bit challenging. Okay, so same level, I'm going to follow that across, going to look for the middle between those two, and we're going to insert that again just a little bit. We're going to make sure that our spacing is right. Follow that one along. Okay, this one's going to be, no, actually I think we'll be okay. All right. And then our fourth one, last one for this row. Going to go right there. All right. And we're going to repeat again. We're just going to go one at a time. Get some glue on the pin. Let that slide on down. And then push it in all the way. Next one here, let it hang down. And get the glue on. Let that slide back down. Push that in. There you go. Got two more on this row to go. Let that slide on down. Push it in. There we go. And last one, let it fall down. Glue it up. Let it fall back down, and then push the pin all the way in. All right, so we now have our first two rows of the floral or the flowers on the ornament. So we're going to do two more rows and then put another one at the bottom, but you can really see how the ornament is starting to come together. Super pretty color combinations, I think. All right, so we're going to set that down. We're going to need four more of our 2-inch pins, and we're going to get the bead on that one. We're going to do our mini flower, and then we're going to get on the daisy. So we'll do three more of those. Our check glass bead center, red mini flower, and our daisy. Okay. Our check glass bead. Oh, I don't think I talked about the color of this one. So the color of the check glass bead that I'm picking is a smoke topaz, so it's a brown. It does have a silver lining in there, so that really reflects the light nicely. So you have the silver reflected bead with the iridescent center flower, and then the nice little contrast of the creamy daisy color. Okay, so we're again going to use the reference of the other placements there, and we're going to I'm going to follow this down and put one right here. Oops. Sometimes you get one where it's not as easy to put the pin in with the sequins. I think this is going to be one of those times. Just give it a good push. Eventually, the sequins will move out of the way. Keep going here. So we're going to look again for the right distance. Going to put that one in. And again, don't push it all the way in because you're going to want to glue that later. Do next one. Follow it across the middle there. There we go. Right, one left for this row. Okay, we're going to follow that across there, in between them. So now we have a nice little diamond shape here. All right, so we're going to glue them in, let it fall down. I'm just going to line the white glue on the pin. Going to let it just fall down on its own, and then push it in all the way. I'm going to do the rest of that row then. Okay, so after this, we're going to have one more row of 4, and then our final one on the bottom. All right, let that fall down. Do a line of glue. And again, I think I over glue it, but I really want these to stay in place. And then our last one here. And this ornament's really coming along. So, all right, and that's where we're at so far. So we're going to do our final row. So we're going to need 4 more of our pins. Okay, do it on our check glass beads. Now, all these flowers come in all sorts of different colors. So you can have a lot of fun picking out what your contrast colors are going to be. You know, you can do any color flower you really like. This one, just like the way the browns and the reds play off of the jade color. Do our tiny little bead, and then our daisy. We're going to do check glass bead, a little iridescent red flower, and our daisy. Okay. One more. Little glass bead, mini red flower. And the hardest part about this ornament is just the time it takes to cover the initial sequins. This is the fun part once you've got these things there. All right, so we want to be careful not to go too far down on this one. We are going to have a final flower there. So we're just going to, again, we're going to look for the middles. I think that'll be good. Okay. Follow that across to, I think maybe you're going to have to go here. Turn it around. Looking for that middle part again. Okay, this one's going to be easy. And then our last one here. Let's see. We're going to have to go, I think we're going to go up a little. All right, so this one I think I'm going to cheat. Let's see. No, I might be able to get it in here. Yeah, this one will be a little low, but that's okay. We'll pop that one in there. All right. So now we're going to let it fall down. We're going to glue it. And press that down. We're going to let this one glue it. Let everything fall down. Push you in. Glue it. Let it fall down. Push it in. And then the last one, glue it. Okay, let it fall down and push it in. All right. So now we have this last one here, and we are going to need to cover that up and put the flower in. So let's make the flower first. We're going to get our bead like normal, our mini flower like normal, and our daisy here. What I'm going to do different on this one is I'm going to need one of my jade sequins because I do have a little bit of a hole there. So we're going to pop that one on the end here. So I'm going to want to do this one at a little bit of an angle so that it covers that. All right, so I want to make sure. Yep, that'll be good. Okay, so what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to glue a little bit before the, not as much, just a smidge before the jade sequin. I'm going to let that fall down. I'm going to pull this back up. And then most of the glue is going to be on this one. Okay. And this, we're going to push that in all the way in. Okay. And that is it. So here we have our beaded and sequin double flower Christmas ornaments that are finished. And like I said, you could do any kind of color combination that you might want to, whatever background sequins. You just want to make sure that the you have a good color contrast between the bigger flower and the sequin that you're choosing. You could certainly do, like I could have done a jade flower in the middle to mirror that, or keeping your contrast going. But they're a lot of fun to make. These are all available in the Etsy shop and on my website. Links are in the description. So I hope you had fun watching me make these ornaments, and have a wonderful rest of your day then. Thank you.